Good morning, guys. Welcome to the studio kitchen. Sunday morning, good cup of coffee. Wow, it's still hot. I think today it's about time to talk about the DJ Mag Top 100 because I'm the entire day just taking care of starting to go through the first couple hundred samples and bounce out parts out of my songs to make that huge sample pack that I was talking about yesterday. And it's been a week since the DJ Mag Top 100 2018 announcements. I was in Amsterdam a couple of days before that, just for the business stuff. Then we had the opening Gavin recording session. So I didn't even have the time to check the top 100. I didn't look at the entire list. I just know that Martin Garrix is again number one, which isn't really a huge surprise. He had a very, very strong year with a lot of commercial pop radio songs. So let's just go down to the studio, fire up my computer, look at that entire list, and I will give you my full honest opinion about everyone on there and what I think about the DJ Mag. It's not that positive. That's what I can let you know already.
Drinking Bloody Mary on a battlefield.
So yeah, let's maybe just start with the DJ Mag Top 100 in general. I mean, it's really hard to try to figure out the top 100 DJs because no one can listen to all of their sets always, so figuring out the best DJ is kind of pointless. And as you know, most people on the list aren't actually DJs, they're producers or producers and DJs. It's not like maybe 15 years ago where you had Carl Cox on top of the list. So I would actually love to see them splitting it up in DJs, maybe even like DJs and underground DJs, just to split it there even and give the underground guys also a chance to be on top of the list. And then one for production or maybe for best EDM song. That would be also really interesting to see the songs actually listed. Another obvious thing, it's voted by popularity, so all DJs are like vote for me. And then we had the iPad incident, I think was it last year or 2 years ago, with Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike and some other people that forced people to vote for them at the Tomorrowland. The DJ Mag responded, set up some new rules, but to be honest, it's not enough. The entire list is still totally fake. So it's even not representing the popularity vote thing, and having like a jury doing the voting would also not be the right system, because who should vote and then they would vote again in a way that also everyone complains about. So that's what we got. That's the DJ Mag Top 100. There's not much you can change about it. What I would really love to see is at least a second list, like with DJ Top 100 newcomers, a list where only people can be in once. So basically a list with everyone that is the first time in the top 100 and extending it to the like full top 100. I hope you know what I mean. So basically, let's say someone is right now at spot like 180 and it's his first time in the list, that he would go up and he would remove all of them that already been in the list. So a newcomer top 100 list would be really cool, because this way you can at least like estimate who's hot right now, who's new, who's entering the game, and give also like newcomers a chance. And newcomer might be the wrong term, because if you're like in the top 200, 300, you're probably not a newcomer, but it would be a way more interesting list than seeing the same people always in the top 100. There's just like way too little movement, and I think electronic dance music is a scene of music that moves a lot, that has a lot of people coming and going every year, and the top 100, it's really the same again every year almost. And really the only people that are benefiting from the list are the ones that are on the list, and of course the DJ Mag. I mean, no one would even talk about the DJ Mag anymore. They had a German DJ Mag, it never really worked. No one is buying the magazine anymore, which is kind of sad, but that's also the way how everything is developing. And the DJ Mag Top 100 kind of keeps them relevant, and people are still talking about it. So I don't see them changing anything about it. It's just working way too good. I even think the top 100 Forbes DJ list is actually way more accurate, with like Calvin Harris usually being on top because he's making the most radio friendly songs, which makes him a whole lot of money, although he's not touring that much actually. But yeah, let's just check out the list. DJ Top 100 2018. Not connected to the internet. Second try. Yes. So yeah, exactly what I said. Number spot, Martin Garrix, no change. I'm kind of fine with him being number one. He had a lot of huge hits. What I don't really like about him, or like his strategy, he's doing like those club tracks and he's doing the radio stuff, which I'm also fine with if you just like producing both. But I think like the radio stuff is usually done in a recording session, and he gets then like the demo sent and picks one of those, maybe adds a little to it. So they don't really sound like Martin Garrix songs. They sound more like something David Guetta would do. And he's slowly becoming the new David Guetta, like kind of doing what's relevant at the time. And now also David Guetta started doing his side project with more club music. So he's actually like two artists. I don't know if that's fair or not. That's for you to decide. My actually bigger problem with him is he never does something new. He always kind of copies what's relevant at the moment, which works. But for example, the Chainsmokers, I think in the past year or 2 years, they changed a lot more about electronic music. They started new things, so like doing these duet kind of songs that everyone then copied again. Also their style, that was of course borrowed from other artists partially, but I think they actually moved and shaped the electronic music scene more than Martin Garrix did. And I'm missing like him being someone that yeah, actually does something new or has like his very own distinguished style. I can't hear that. He's just like in the blur of those top 100 DJs. For example, Deadmau5 has his own style. Eric Prydz, for example. And I consider those guys, also the Swedish House Mafia, I consider them more being like people that actually push the music forward. And Martin is more doing like the stuff that is working, but it's obviously working. Number one for him, congrats. Spot number two, here again, what I don't like about the list, especially this year, almost no change. Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike hit number two. I'm personally not a fan of their music. They're now also starting to do radio stuff, which is entirely ghost produced. I even know the guy that is doing the radio songs for them. Not a big fan of that, and they got mostly pushed by the Tomorrowland. I think they're also in their agency, so they're being managed by them. Without the Tomorrowland, they wouldn't be even on that list, probably. And I like people being on that list that are actually there because of their music or because of their DJ skills, and not just because they know the right people and did some smart business moves. Hardwell is up by one. It's also fine. He's still waiting for his big radio hit. And as you know, he unfortunately stopped his career, at least for now. The touring, no more touring for him, which is a smart move. If you feel like not performing, it's better to not perform. We all know what happened with Avicii. Armin van Buuren, yeah, definitely deserves a spot. It's not only his music, the entire label, the shows, his own shows. There's a lot surrounding him, radio show. It's smart. He really delivers the entire package. Same David Guetta, really there's so little change in that list. Tiesto down by one, Don Diablo up by 4, Afrojack no change. Oliver Heldens, probably one of the newer guys in this list. Marshmello, no change. I actually expected him to be ranked up higher. He had a really strong year, good radio releases, and this whole mask thing is just smart branding. Steve Aoki, Rehab, Alok, W&W, also no change, small movements in there. Avicii up by 13. Yeah, it's kind of cool to have him on the list, although his passing, it's a nice honor to have him in there and not forget him. Really someone I think should be way more up in the list actually, because like from his production skills and the music, I think he's stronger than a lot of people that are in front of him. Then number 17, Lost Frequencies, up by 9, which I actually like. He's more in the chilled kind of deep house direction. And then Kashmir, Vintage Culture, Eric Prydz, Skrillex. It's all the same. Really all the same. Let's see if there's any surprise in here. Yeah, for example, Chainsmokers 31 down by 25. I can't really understand it. Maybe they didn't push as hard as the other guys to just be on the list. It really depends how much people are actually participating and how much they actually spend getting up in that list. It's a combination of like using your socials, making good music, a lot of shows, and also paying, because without spending money you won't probably end up on that list. Kygo is down, which is expected. He still didn't like, he made the Tropical House really famous and he never really switched to something new, so I see his relevancy dropping a little if he doesn't adapt. Calvin Harris at spot number 40, which I absolutely can't understand. He probably didn't do anything to be voted. He had so many hit songs. Every single song of his, I think the past 10 releases of him were number 1, which actually he should be in the top 10, to be honest. Zed is down by 15. I also can't really understand it. Carl Cox is still in there. That's nice to see at number 43. Clapton, nice to see someone that is making more underground kind of music. Richie Hawtin at 61, 60 Robin Schulz. He should be also actually way more up there. Swedish House Mafia doesn't actually really exist, but still in the list at 63. But as you know, they're coming back really soon. And I see them then, if all three are combined, they will be in the top 10 again next year. And there are really only like a few new entries or re-entries, and you have to be like at spot 80 or even lower. Yeah, it's weird. I'm missing some people. Yeah, but all in all, like, it's really boring. Same faces. Everything is just down by a couple, up by a couple. Almost no new entries. Nina Kravitz to see her at 97 is nice. She's doing like really like Berlin underground techno stuff, which I actually like. And the rest, yeah, just the same people. So I would really actually like to see a list with like the top 100 new entries, people that have never been on top of the top 100 list. That would be actually way more interesting to see what's coming next, to discover new talents or discover like the next generation for the top 100 DJ Mag, and not seeing every year the same. I have to say this is by far the most boring top 100 DJ Mag ever. Which is actually sad, because electronic music was also always about experimenting and doing new stuff and just pushing everything forward. And I don't see that happening anymore. The more electronic music is pushed towards pop music and getting more and more commercial, and it's definitely at its peak at the moment, the less exciting it will actually be. So I think you actually have to go to the Resident Advisor. They also have like a top 100 list, mostly compiled of more underground people, which is a bit more exciting. There's more movement and faces you haven't seen yet. But yeah, there's not really much I can add to it. Hopefully next year, I don't know, probably the same. It will be even worse. So let me know what you think about the DJ Top 100 2018, what you think about it in general. If you have any idea how to make it actually better, if we should start like a top 100 thing, maybe this would lead to more exciting results. But yeah, that's all I have to say. All in all, boring, no surprises, no controversies. Last year we at least had some people on there that shouldn't be on there, where it was really obvious that it was somehow fake. They're this year also gone. So yeah, let's just see what happens next year.